Hello everyone, that manga kid here to give my thoughts on In This Corner of the World by Fumiyo Kouno. This is a 7 Seas release. It is a 3-in-1. I'm pretty sure that these volumes must have been pretty thin to begin with, because this isn't a super thick volume for a 3-in-1, but there are 3 separate volumes in here. This is a slice of life kind of story about this girl who starts off as a young girl and it kind of grows up with her through the Second World War. So it is pretty much about the war and just her experience living in Japan at that time. I really, really enjoyed this. I bought this, I'm not going to lie, because of the cover art. I found it, I bought it pretty much when it first came out. Because I just couldn't pass it up. This is a gorgeous release by Seven Seas. It is so heavy. It's just a soft cover, but the paper is amazing. Like really really nice paper. It's the whole book. It's just heavy. You can tell that it's sturdy. It was well made and well deserved of this title. I think this is a beautiful story. There's also some really, really lovely color pages. And there's quite a few actually. These aren't glossy. Like the paper itself is kind of in between like a matte and a glossy paper anyway. But the color pages aren't a different type of paper from the rest of the book. Uh, but yeah, there's quite a few color pages throughout once you get to like um, the different books. Like it separates. Oh, I missed it. Like there's another one. Um, they're just really, really gorgeous. Um, there are some more in there as well. Yeah, so the physical release itself is absolutely gorgeous. The price of this, I believe, is quite high. 27.99 Canadian, 32.99, or sorry, 32.99 Canadian, 27.99 US. I got it for I think $20 or something, which was pretty good. I think it was worth $20. Um, but yeah, I do think that the physical release is gorgeous and really well made. Onto the story. So this is a pretty lighthearted in the sense like it's not too dense story wise. Um, it's just literally about her growing up in Japan during the war. There are points where there is not a lot of dialogue at all. There's points where they do these little comic things. It's kind of in her mind, like what's going on. So it's very difficult for me to explain because it'll take these breaks where it'll just do random things like this. It's showing you how to make whatever she's making for dinner that night, which doesn't, and then it shows you the history of that meal, why it was made that way, who started making it that way. Um, so it takes like a little detour in a history lesson there. The other thing about this, that I really actually enjoyed and wasn't expecting, is how much actual facts there are here. So in the margins, let's see if I can find one. There's a lot of pages, and there's some art that's really gorgeous. I really, really love the art in this story. I don't want to really spoil anything, so I'm gonna pull this away here. But yeah, in the margins of like here's one. It's really small writing, so it's gonna be hard to see. But in the margins here, if you see all those words, that's explaining the historical context of what is happening in this scene. And this is on like not every page, but majority of the pages in this volume have something written in the margins like that is explaining what's going on. The historical context to a certain boat, plane, person, um, uniform, whatever, which I really enjoyed because I don't really read a lot of nonfiction anymore, especially since I'm not in school. So this is like, I think, a really good way to get a little bit of an introductory into Japanese history during that time, um, while not having it be too heavy, because this is a fictional story that's got really, really nice artwork and you can follow the story, but at the same time, you're getting tidbits of information that at least I didn't know before. Um, because all we were taught in school about Japan in World War II was the nuclear attacks, um, but nothing really more than that. Nothing about the daily lives of the citizens and how the war impacted them. Um, but this goes into that. You get all that kind of little bits of information, which I really, really liked. So it does take a while to read this, simply because of how much extra writing is in the margins. And if you choose to actually read those things, which I suggest you do, because it gives you a bit of a more whole picture of what these characters are experiencing. Um, but yeah, I would say the art absolutely gorgeous. I would say the story is pretty good. I mean, it's just a slice of life. I got invested in it. When I first started reading it a while ago, when I first got it, I wasn't really super into it. But I sat down and read pretty much the entire volume in like 2 days, um, a few days ago, because I just got so hooked on it and I wanted to know what was going to happen. The characters are quite likable. The like it's quiet. It's a quiet story about the war and how the war impacted just regular citizens who, you know, just had to go along with it and had to be part of the war effort in their own way, in their own towns. And I think it was really well done. Um, I haven't seen the anime film. I probably won't bother like seeking it out to watch it. If it comes along at one point, maybe I will, but I won't seek it out. I'm happy with the way this was. So I can't compare it to the film, but um, the manga is really good, and I think it's worth it. And even just the physical release itself is absolutely gorgeous, and I definitely recommend picking it up. Um, I'll probably read this again in the future. I won't do it anytime soon, but uh, I think it was a good story. It was really good, and I'm glad I bought it. If you've read this or have any thoughts or questions or anything about like that about it, leave them in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.